Welcome to training session number 4, lesson number 5, sales reporting. The sales reporting window is provided to obtain various sales-related metrics for a specific period of time. Some of the figures available include gross net sales by clinic or clinician, cost of sales, gross margins, sales by item types, sales by hearing aid model circuit, payment by clinician or clinic, and commissions. At the top of the window, there are two date fields that are used to specify the reporting date range, the from date and the to date. To the right of each of these date fields is a calendar button, which will open a pop-up calendar. The pop-up calendar can be used to select the desired from or to dates. Let's take a look at sales summary. The summary of sales can be done by clinic or by clinician, simply by selecting the corresponding radio button. Some client groups have service center locations with limited hours. These clinics are often associated with another clinic, which serves as the main or primary clinic. When by clinic has been selected, the roll up to main clinic checkbox can be checked or unchecked to see the sales summarized accordingly. When the roll up to main clinic checkbox has been checked, the sales from the service center clinics will be included in the main clinic sales, and the service center clinics will not be listed in the sales summary. The payment column within the summary can reflect two different definitions of payments. The radio buttons Payments Received and Payments Applied to Invoices provide control over which definition is used. Payments Received will display the payment amounts collected or received at each clinic location. Payments Applied to Invoices will display the payment amounts applied to the invoices. Each invoice is assigned to a clinic and clinician, and thus the payments are a reflection of the invoice's clinic or clinician. The radio buttons for this definition will always be used when the summary of sales is run by a clinician. Under invoices, you can use the radio buttons All and Approved to filter results to include all invoices or just approved invoices. Under cost, if the actual radio button is selected, the cost column will display only the actual costs of the items entered in the AP module. If the actual and expected radio button is selected, the cost column will display the actual costs that have been entered for the items in the AP module, or if no actual cost has been entered for the items, then it will display the expected cost if one was entered on the item itself. After changing any of the radio buttons, dates, or checkbox, the Calculate Sales button must be clicked to refresh the sales figures. The column making up the sales summary section are derived from two different types of information: invoice sales and appointment outcomes. The first 9 numeric columns are derived from invoice sales figures. These columns include net sales, payments, aid sales, net units, average sale, gross margin percent, cost sales, sales tax, and write-offs. The last 5 columns are derived from the selections made from the appointment's outcome. These include number of aids, number of ears, close percent, binaural percent, number of appointments. Any of the numeric cells within the sales summary section, including the summary totals, can be clicked to open another window in which detail corresponding to the summarized value is revealed. The collection of fields in the lower left corner of the window provides totals of gross sales, return for credits, exchanges, and cancellations to derive net sales for the period. The first column shows the gross sales to net sales for all items and services provided. The remaining columns show figures for hearing aid sales only. Quantity is provided and used to show percentages of hearing aid units sold, returned, exchanged, and canceled. The effective return for credit percentage reflects the rate of return adjusted by the number of units exchanged. The section appearing to the right of the projected sales shows a summary of net sales by item type. The next section appearing to the right shows the number of days in the reporting period and average daily sales for that period. The average daily sales amount is multiplied by 30 to project the monthly sales. The monthly projected sales amount is multiplied by 12 to project the annual sales. A detailed list of information can be obtained by clicking on the cell in which any numeric value appears within the Summary of Sales section. Clicking on a numeric value will reveal the detail that makes up the summarized number. Clicking on a cell within any of the invoice sales columns opens a window showing the corresponding sales detail. At the bottom of the details page, a summary of sales figures is shown for the clinic or clinician. When the sales summary has been calculated and the Payment Received radio button has been selected, clicking on the payment amounts will open a window showing the corresponding payment detail. A summary of payments received by payment method is shown on the page as well. When the sales summary has been calculated and the Payment Applied to Invoice radio button has been selected, clicking on the payment amount will show a window corresponding to the payment detail. Clicking on a cell within any of the appointment outcome columns opens a window showing the corresponding appointment outcome information used to derive the numbers being displayed. The close rate detail window shows some of the appointment outcome information for the appointments occurring within the reporting period that have been deemed a sales opportunity. The aids sold column indicates the number of aids that were sold. This value is based on the sales results selected within the appointment outcome. If any variation of no order was selected as the sales result, the aids sold count will be 0. Any variation of monaural order will count as 1 aid, and binaural order will always count as 2 aids sold. The sellable ears column indicates the number of ears that could have been fit with a hearing aid. This value is dependent upon the selections made within the right ear loss, left ear loss, and sales results field. When an ear has some level of hearing loss, it will be counted as a sellable ear, unless the sales results contain a variation of monaural order, other ear unaided already fit, in which case the ear will not be counted. As the binaural order column indicates the number of aids that were deemed sold as part of a binaural order, this column will display a value of 2 whenever binaural order is selected within the sales results, otherwise 0 will be displayed. The close rate is calculated as the result of the number of aids sold divided by the number of ears that could have been sold. The binaural rate is calculated as a result of the number of aids sold as part of a binaural order divided by the number of aids sold. Clicking on a cell within the Number of Appointments column opens a window showing a summary of the number of appointments scheduled within the reporting period by clinic and clinician. For each clinic and clinician, it shows the number of appointment outcomes currently. Open, the number of appointments for which the appointment outcome has not yet been entered. Monaural sale, the number of appointments whose sale results were some version of monaural sale. Binaural sale, the number of appointments whose sales result was binaural order. Tested no sale, the number of appointment where the patient was diagnosed with some level of hearing loss and some variation of no order was selected as the sale outcome. Closed, the number of appointments for which the appointment outcome has been entered but the appointment was not deemed a sales opportunity. The Model Mix button opens a window in which a list of all the different hearing aid models sold within the period are displayed. For each model, the average sales price, gross margin, and number of units sold, returned, exchanged, and canceled is available. The Model Mix can be run for a specific clinic by selecting a clinic from the Clinic drop-down. Click the Print button to print the information presented in this window. Click the OK button to close the window and return to the main sales reporting page. The Marketing ROI button opens a window from which reports can be generated to help assess the returns on various marketing efforts. The reporting options include the ability to see information summarized or in detail form. There are 4 categories of reporting available. The first is Invoice Sales by Referral Source. This provides a listing of sale information grouped by the referral source selections made within each invoice. The summary version of the report also includes the cost of each marketing campaign for a side-by-side comparison of the sales versus cost. The next is Patient Intake Referral Source. This provides a listing of hearing aid sales and number of units sold for each of the new patient records created within the specified reporting date range. The sales figures are summarized and grouped by the referral source selections made within each patient record. Next is appointment close rates by referral source. This provides a listing of appointment close rates based on the outcomes of the appointments scheduled within the specified reporting period. Next is appointments scheduled by referral source. This provides a listing of scheduled appointments by referral source. The marketing return figures can be restricted to specific referral sources or clinics by selecting from the two drop-downs at the top of the page. Click the Print button to print the information presented in the window. Click the Close button to close the window and return to the main sales reporting page. I'd like to stop here for a moment and point out that under every print button in the sales reporting module, there is an export button so you can export any of the data you see in the sales reporting module to Excel. The Commission button opens a window in which commissions are calculated for each of the clinicians. There are 3 calculation methods by which commissions can be determined. After selecting the calculation method and setting up rates, click the Calculate button to initiate the calculations. The results will be displayed within a list of clinicians. Let's take a look at the 3 methods. The first is flat rate on all item net sales. To calculate commissions as a percentage of net sales on all items, select by net sales amount and use standard commission rates % for all. The commission rate % field will become enabled. The rate should be entered as a percentage where 10.5 is entered as 10.5. Flat rate on payment received. To calculate commissions as a percentage of payments received, select by payments received. The commission rate % field will become enabled. The rate should be entered as a percentage where 10.5 is entered as 10.5. The last is variable rates on item types net sales. Commissions can also be calculated on net sales using variable rates defined by item type. To use the variable rate item type rates, select by net sales amount and use item type commission rates. The commission rates for each item types are displayed in a list under the radio buttons. The item type rates can be managed within the Item Types window within the Administration module. The Scorecard button opens a window in which information can be obtained to assess the sales performance of a clinician. The scorecard shows many different key measures for a clinician and compares the clinician's values to the targets or goals previously defined. For each key measure, a score is calculated to denote how well a clinician did with respect to the goal defined. Each key measure's score is multiplied by a weight to result in a weighted score for each key measure. The sum of the weighted scores represent the clinician's performance for that month. A total score of 500 or above means the clinician met or exceeded the defined goals. There are several drop-downs at the top of the window available to select the clinician, the month, and the year for which the scorecard is to be calculated. A radio button controls whether the scorecard is based on default goals or clinician goals. Click the Calculate button to calculate the scorecard for the selected clinician and month. Click the Print button to print a copy of the scorecard. Click the Manage Goals button to open a window within which scorecard goals can be defined. Click the Manage Goals button appearing on the scorecard window to open the Clinician's Goals window. The Clinician's Goals window is used to enter values which represent the goal for each of the key measures used to assess a clinician's performance. Select one of the goals already defined and click the Edit button to modify any of the goal's existing values. Click the New button to create a new goal. Select one of the goals already defined and click the Copy to New button to copy the existing goal's values onto a new goal, after which any of the values for the new goal can be modified as desired. When creating a new goal, select one of the radio buttons to denote whether it's a default goal or a clinician goal. At this time, only one default goal is allowed. When a clinician goal is being created, select the clinician, month, and year for which the goal applies. Enter the value for each of the key measures provided. The key measures currently used are net number of units sold, exchange percent, return for credit percent, average sale price, gross margin percent, net sales of all items, close rate percent, binaural rate percent. The wage calculator was designed to be used as a coaching tool for mentoring sales staff. The calculator will display projected monthly and annual commissions under various what-if scenarios. The editable fields can be modified to contain numbers that reflect a clinician's actual numbers, and then enhanced numbers to show the difference in commissions under various scenarios. This completes training session number 4, lesson number 5, sales reporting.